Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hater plotting my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding out of line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably dollar sign. Got the energy to win it, I'm feeling great. Got a date with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a f what you rapping, you been a fake. I'm everything that they ain't, it can't be, it won't be. Wanna see me fall, I can't go, I won't leave. Coming from the block with plain clothes and police. Straight up to the top with bankrolls and rollies. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, 12 can't really stop, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot. In a yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell. Hitting with the oh well. Need 100 milli on the low scale. On my worst night, I'm the best. Wouldn't mess with you, couldn't cap to him. Homie spotted me like 700, brought 1100 right back to him. If I can't do it, then it ain't real. I just make dollars, I don't make deals. I've been going hard in the paint, still blowing kush clouds till I can't feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Got 5 on it. Ay, ay. Look, I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Look, Papa don't preach, teachers don't teach. Gon' reach, that's facts. I ain't worried about none of that. I'm making that cash stack. Bunch of O's like NASCAR, but it's really more like NASDAQ. Why they thinking that they hot when they really more like Quarter on me like a referee. Hating what they'll never be. Small top with a big bottom, yeah, shorter shape like a letter D. Let her have it, then I let her be. If you love it, gotta let it grow. Crazy cause you really never know. When I'm hurting, never let it show. I'm a two-tone, two-phone, two-chain, new thing, lane whipper, you a broke. Low class, no cash, certified lame. I've been getting to it like I ought to. Couldn't pick, so I bought two. Understand why your chick came, I'm just trying to figure why she brought you. I'm really rapping and I'm flexed up, and I ain't gotta tell them I'm next up. Sleep on the they rest up, but I'm up and I'm getting my checks up. Me and the fellas be high as propellers, ain't could tell us we great. Looking at like how do you figure unless you been talk about 8 figures. I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Look how we litty, we turned up the city, we raising the bar height. I been finessing, just look at them stressing, yeah, they been up all night. Sipping this water with somebody's daughter, she take what I taught her and build on it. Came in this game on that today, ain't in a couple years later, we still on it. Be hating on it, be be waiting on it like a new season. I bet an acre on it. I put some paper on it like I'm loose leafing. Buying them assets. Build me a cash net I could fall in. Look at my last bit. Ain't got a tiptoe. I'm all in. Think on a level that can't fail. And I roll me a J with the hate mail. Been doing good on the merch sale. All this bread on me look like a bake sale. Tell her your what's really good. I be really good on a jaw jack. Send an email about the bread. I'ma hit you back with the call back. I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be.
Come on in. How's everybody doing tonight? Pop-up live, impromptu. Make sure you hit that like button as you come on in. How's everybody doing tonight? I see people quiet tonight. I get it. I know what's going on out in these streets. You be tweaking, Mark. Good advice, family. Love the podcast. Just getting started and taking all the advice and running with it. Oh, let me read this again. You be tweaking, Mark. Good advice, family. Love the podcast. Just getting started and taking all the advice and running with it. Okay, cool. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching. How I be tweaking, though? I don't be tweaking. I hit the you tweaking button. I'm the one who hit the you tweaking button, man. I don't be tweaking. Mark Brown, what's going on? It's DeWalt Cleveland in the building. Interstate Screw, I see Detroit. Taurine Dowds, I see Dallas in the building. The Brown Goat Logistics LLC, what's going on? Ruben, Bay Area, what's up? Kelvin Birch, William Vega, New Jersey in the building. How's everybody doing tonight? Come on in, make sure you guys hit that like button. I'm not going to be on long tonight. It's just an impromptu pop-up you know, Q&A like I normally do. I know I've been kind of like MIA the past couple weeks. I have been working on some stuff. It's just going to take some time to present it, but I am working behind the scenes on some stuff. So I'm going to be pushing more content out soon, you know what I'm saying? So but come on in, hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking it. I just know that's your wordplay. Yeah, that is my wordplay. That is my wordplay. Shout out to Urban Homesteaders. Shout out to all the MGMs. Shout out to all the moderators in the building. Shout out to everybody that's coming in. Hope everybody is out there being safe and being prosperous. Darren said, greetings from the Shy. What's going on, Darren? How you feeling? How you feeling? All right, so real quick, get your questions ready. I'm not going to be on for long. I'm probably going to do an hour and 15 minutes. So get your questions, start throwing your questions in there. The ones I get to, I get to. The ones I don't, I just don't. So go ahead and start putting your questions in there. But first, before we get started, I got a question. Because this is something that I've been seeing. I've been seeing it all the time. It's just something that I always say I'm going to talk about, and I never get around to talking about it. But I said, I'm going to make sure I remind myself to talk about this tonight because I seen something that kind of reminded me to talk about it. So what I want to talk about real quick before we get into this Q&A is, why do y'all be choosing these ghetto as LLC names? Can somebody let me know or substantiate or let me know? Because I've seen some of the ghettoest trucking company business names, like some of these names that I come across. It don't make no sense. I've seen it all. I've seen Freight Thugs, Truck Thugs LLC, Freight Thugs LLC, Out the Mud LLC, Off the Block LLC, Off the Block Trucking LLC, did I say Get It Out the Mud? What else I done seen? I done seen some crazy just ghetto names. Why do people name their trucking companies ghetto names? Somebody please answer that question for me. Why? Why? You're not gonna get nowhere naming your company. All right. So let's talk. If you already in the business, you already out there, you got your LLC, you got your incorporation. What's done is done. But if you watching this and you looking to come into this business or any business, and you at the point where you're naming your company, be mindful. It's a business. All right. Other people are looking at this business. You got some people out here running on the new and wonder why ain't nobody letting them run loads. Possibility ain't nobody letting you run a load because of the name of your company. I know if I order something, let's say from Wayfair or something, and whoever the third party company that was contracting through whatever third party logistics company, they pull up in front of my crib and I see the magnet on the door and they got Big Thug Trucking or Freight Thugs or Sniper Gang Trucking or anything that like that, they're not getting up in my crib. I'm gonna refuse the order. I don't want anybody that's pulling up with gang trucking, on phone them trucking, LLC coming into my crib. And that's on the real. And I'm not being funny. I'm being dead ass serious. Like, what do y'all be thinking about when y'all be coming up with y'all names? When y'all run these names past people, you need to go fire all your friends that when you ran your names past them that thought that shit was cool and that let you go off and name your trucking company. Got It Out the Mud Trucking LLC. That's just not cool. And then the people who you have to go to get work be laughing at you. Or they bypass you. You think they don't see your name? Big Thug Trucking LLC, If they had to choose two companies to go with, two companies, let's say it was two companies, and they needed one company to pull in to cover a route for final mile, and they got two companies, sight unseen, and they had to choose. They definitely gonna profile. One company name is Thug Trucking LLC, and the other company is JTC Transportation LLC or INC or JTC Transport or JTC Logistics Incorporated or LLC. Which one you think they're gonna go with? You think they're gonna go with Big Thug Trucking, or you think they're gonna go with JTL Transport? Sight unseen. Now, keeping in mind, they got to go in and out of people's homes. They might go into 12, 13 people's homes a day where people's prized possessions are laying around. Now, if I was an operations supervisor or a branch manager of a T-Force or R&L carriers or a pilot or a SEVA or a Fidelitone or NAL or JB Hunt Final Mile or RXO or XPO, and that was me sitting in that seat and I'm looking at these two profiles, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to profile. I'm definitely going to profile. I'm not going to bring Thugs R Us trucking, off the block trucking, out the mud trucking, on phone them trucking. I'm not going to bring them in here, because the first thing that happens when I bring them in here, the first thing that comes up missing, my superiors, when they look at the report and they go through the investigation, the first thing they're going to say, why would you even hire this company? Look at the name. What do you expect from a company name like this? What does this tell you about the individual who's starting a business that names his company something like this? Like some of the names and the reason why I'm talking about it now, because a name just came across my DM or my email, whatever, earlier, and I'm looking at this company name and I'm just like how far do you think you're gonna get? How far do you think you're gonna get with some of these names? Leave that street shit in the street. Your name or your company, I don't care if it's a trucking company, a finance company, I don't care if you open in a charter school, I don't care what you open in, a restaurant, a consulting firm. Your name should be professional. Your name shouldn't parallel whatever your TikTok handle or whatever your Instagram handle. That's cool for Instagram handles, or that's cool for TikTok handles, for your personal TikTok or for your personal Instagram handle. You can do all the what they call it, the underline slash backslash underline, whatever that shit is, underscore. You can name all your, for that, but your name or your company shouldn't be something similar to what you would name yourself on Instagram. Some of y'all that's running OTR, you think you ain't getting lows. You think it's because your score, you might be on the new. That may have something to do with it, but the other part of it, you may not be getting low just because of your name. You ever thought about that? Did you ever think, some of you final mile guys or guys that's doing other things, did you ever think that you may be getting profiled because of your name? They profile people on corporate jobs because of their names. Boomquisha Jackson. If Boomquisha Jackson done applied and she done went to 2 interviews, and I'm keeping it 1,000. Trust me, the reason why I became an entrepreneur, and I don't have a name that you would profile. You could tell by my name I'm black, but it ain't like a Boomquisha or some shit like that. Boomquisha Jackson, let's say. And she go through 2 interviews, and it's a corporate job. And then she's up against I need a good wholesome white name. Magdalena. Magdalena Lupinski, a Polish name. Magdalena Gronkowski, Magdalena Lumpinski, something like that with a ski at the end, a good Polish name, Magdalena. So Bunquisha going up against Magdalena, and they both went through 2 interviews, and they both interviewed the same. They both strong candidates. 9 times out of 10, Bunquisha going to get profiled just off of her name. It does exist in the corporate world. It exists. Profiling exists, and it's real. Same thing with business. How do you think you're going to compete? Let's look. What's the top 10 trucking companies' names? Your name of your company really doesn't even matter. It matters, but it doesn't matter. Your name should be something, it should be something simple. Every company I start, I mostly use initials. And I don't even give a goddamn whose initials are. I didn't use my initials. I didn't use my initials frontwards. I didn't use them backwards. I didn't start companies with my mother's initial, my brother's initial. I don't care. And if I'm not using initials, then I'm using basic generic words. One word generic. Something that's a strong word that represents success. Apex, climax, pinnacle, consulting firm, Apex consulting firm. I'm not naming businesses that I start hood, ghetto names. I'm just not doing it. It's not professional. Who would hire someone with a hood ghetto name when you're trying to conduct business? You've already put yourself in a box. You've already set a ceiling for yourself. What's the name of the top trucking companies in the country? UPS, initials. FedEx, JB Hunt, name. T-Force, simple. What else we got? TFI, initials. XPO, initials. Landstar, name. Knight Swift, 2 names, partners. Schneider, name. Ryder, name. Old Dominion. These are basic names. They're either the name of the founder or some initials. Simple. Real simple. Some of the stuff that I see is crazy. Then we could get to the women. I done seen the women truckers. We can get on them too. Pretty trucking. Sexy trucking. Bad Mama Jamma trucking. Now I'm making some of these stuff up for entertainment and theatrical purposes, but you get the point. I've seen names of trucking companies that have come across my desk, have come into my DM, that have come into my email with thug in it. With street stars trucking, thug. Gotta do better, man. Gotta do better. Got to do better. That's just not, it's not cool. It's not professional. It puts you in a box. You get laughed at. The people who are the decision makers for whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether it's final mile, whether it's OTR, I don't even goddamn if you're doing Amazon. If you're running final mile, the powers that be, how you gonna look going into an office? Hey, all right, man, you here? Your first day, you here? All right, you walk into the dispatch office, let's say for RXO XPO. And it's a big dispatch office. It's probably about 10 dispatchers in there. Each dispatcher got 4 screens. They sitting on one of those long desks. It's like a long desk that stretches from end to end of the room. And each dispatcher got a chair and they got their 4 screens. Then you got another dispatcher, you got his chairs, 4 screen. But it's all like one long desk. And you walk in, man, is Eric here? Yeah, I'm Eric. You the new guy? Yeah, come over here. What's the name of your trucking company again? Oh yeah, Big Thug Trucking, Thug Freight Trucking. You got everybody in the room going to turn around and they're going to size you up. And as soon as you leave, they're going to talk about you. Same thing with the broker. Yeah, I'm calling about this load I see. What's the name of your trucking company and MC number? Thuggin' and Trucking, LLC. Thuggin' and Trucking, LLC? Oh, okay, hold on. Yep, that load's gone. Just got rid of it. You know how I know? Because I would profile you. Especially if I'm running a final mile business. I'm not going to send nobody and nobody home. That's a liability. You telling me who you are in your name. If you bold enough to put that in the name of your business, you telling me who you are. You think I'm going to take that risk sending you into somebody's home? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So a lot of the people, to the brothers, you dig what I'm saying? A lot of the people that you're going to come across that are the decision makers are not brothers. So you're not going to get that, what you thought you was going to get. You're not going to get it. You're going to get laughed at. You're going to get ridiculed. You're going to get made a mockery out of. And you're ultimately going to get turned away. And then you're going to try to wonder why things aren't working out for you. And it could be something just as simple as the name of your company. So you got to do better. Like naming a company is simple. Like, I don't even understand why people make a big deal out of it. What's your initials? All right, boom. Search, see if your initials are available. If they're available, roll with it. Your biggest companies are just three letters. Like, who cares if you big thugging or if you out the mud? One of Larry's guys, LLC. Like, come on now. I seen something one day. My three babies. It was my three babies or my three my three kids or my three something crazy. You already put a ceiling on yourself. You put yourself in a box. You've made it difficult for yourself. The name of your company, when a person look at the name of your company, they shouldn't be able to differentiate if you a small company or a large company. If you name your company 3TL Corp, a person could look at that and not know if it's a one-man operation or a 10-truck operation or a 50-truck operation or a 100-truck operation unless they look it up. They won't be able to tell you if you're black, white, Hispanic. They won't be able to tell anything about you unless they start digging. But I bet you they can profile and know who you are when you name yourself Freight Thug Trucking or Out the Mud Trucking or Stanky Leg Trucking LLC or some of these crazy names I done seen. They already know who coming. Stop doing that. It's just not professional. It's embarrassing. It's not conducive of a good businessman or businesswoman. It lets a person like me know your days are numbered. You're not gonna have a long. You're not gonna have a long career, and I can tell that just off your name. You're not taking it serious. You haven't sought professional advice. If you've never been in business before and you coming off the block, you need to seek professional advice from a professional business owner, someone who's seen success in business, because they're not going to let you go file this with the Secretary of State a company like that, a company name like that. They're just not going to do it. You have to separate yourself from the people that you're used to being around, because you're not going to be able to get a good advice from them either. And that's just on the real, man. I'm like, when I see stuff like that, it just upsets me, man. I've been seeing it, and I always say I'm gonna mention it. But I saw something today that was just so crazy. I said I'm gonna make it my business to talk about that tonight. All right, man. Let me get to these questions, man. Let me see. What's the first one? He said, "Bruhs can't leave that street. It's low, man." He says, "Mine hood, the Brown Goat Logistics LLC." It's not hood, but to me, it's kind of long, because when I name something, let's say if I'm starting a new trucking company, and let's say I'm starting a trucking company where I know I may wrap one of the trucks. So let's say I start a new moving company. I'm thinking about everything from the name, the professionalism of the name, how the name is going to look, how the name is going to be remembered. You always want to do something simple, either initials, right? A name, your last name. A lot of companies use their last name, initials, or like one strong word, 2 syllables, one strong word. So when you look at the Brown Goat Logistics, and just in my professional opinion, it's cool. It's not ghetto. It's just long. It's not hood. It's just long. What does Brown Goat Logistics symbolize? You know what I'm saying? I would have made it more simple. I would have just put Brown Logistics or Goat Logistics. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep all that in mind. You know what I'm saying? So depending on what you're doing, you kind of want to simplify things and make things simple, easy to remember, and you want to make them professional as well. You don't want to, like, your name. Like, I think a lot of people think too much into the name, and then that's why they come up with these names. Like, you're not going to be remembered for your name. Your name isn't going to make you money coming out the gate. UPS, their name makes them money because it's a staple. Everybody knows UPS. FedEx, people know that name, but you got to get to that point. When you just starting out, your name don't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. The only time your name means something is when you become a staple in whatever field you in. But guess what? You have to think long term too. What's your plan? That's why I say do a business plan. Do you plan on building a big, huge trucking company? Do you have admirations of one day having 1,000 trucks? All right, so imagine having 1,000 trucks with the Brown Goat Logistics LLC on them. Or freight thugs. Freight thugs will never get to that point because ain't nobody going to take them serious enough to get that much work. Ain't nobody going to take freight thugs serious. Nobody. So I think in your case, it's just kind of long for my liking. I don't think it's hood though. I was wondering, can you do a special segment on how to get USPS contracts? That's something probably that I won't do because I've never ran with USPS. I've talked to people that have. I've talked to some people that have asked me questions. I know which direction to point you in, but doing a video talking about it, no, because I've never done it. I can point you in the right direction. It's just government contracting. You would bid with the government. And it's just as simple as that, but me doing a video on it, probably not. What up, Mark? I need a rental truck, a Pinion, ATL, and builder. You said you need a rental truck? So what are you asking me? What's my opinion on renting a truck? I think my opinion on renting a truck in today's climate is kind of risky. Renting a truck is very, very high. now. And rates are, low in comparison to what the truck rentals are now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, depending on what you're trying to do would determine how I would advise you going forward. Felix said those are the first ones falling off the game. I think he talking about the people that name their truck hood names. Hey Mark, I deal with T-Force. I was supposed to get $3.40 a piece, but they giving me different prices that's lower than I was getting. I talked to a manager, but nothing works. What can I do? Who brought you on? You got a contract. Did you look at your contract? What does your contract state? Look at your contract. See what your contract states. Pull up your contract. Pull up your contract. Pull up your contract. If your contract states that, take your contract to the manager. If the manager doesn't work, go to the branch manager. So you go to the ops supervisor, right? Then if you can't get through the ops supervisor, then you go to the branch manager. If you can't go through the branch manager, then you go to corporate. T-Force corporate office is in Dallas. I had to go. This is back when they was Dynamics, when I was running with them, before they switched over to T-Force. So when I was with them with Dynamics, it was 2 pay periods that they didn't pay me. They didn't give me a settlement for 2 pay periods. Now, mind you, I was running a bunch of trucks at that time. My payroll, each pay period was $8,000. My payroll was $8,000. All right, for each pay period. So for 2 pay periods, I had to reach down and pay out $16,000. All right, they owed me $28,000 for those 2 pay periods. They eventually paid me, but I had to go to corporate. The guy's name who was running operations, and I'll never forget this. I'll name his name because I think he was racist. His name was Eric Field. His name was Eric Field. For some reason, I just think, and I know he didn't like me. I know he was racist because the one black manager there told me. He said, they don't like you. They don't, you, and this is what she said. She's like, you're very arrogant. She said, and they can't figure out for the life of them how you have so many trucks. They benefit from you having so many trucks because every time they need an extra truck, you always can bail us out. But because you have so much leverage, they don't like depending on you. And by them depending on you and you're smart and you know it, you demand what you want and they have to give it to you and they don't like that. So he would try to play with my money. All right. So I went over his head. Now, when I went over his head, that guy was kind of cool. But see, here's the thing. I don't know if they was playing good cop, bad cop. Now, you got to remember, I'm mid-30s at this time. Young dude, baby face. I'm 43 now. I look young. So imagine how I looked at 34, 35. You see what I'm saying? Just real shrewd businessman. I told them what I wanted. I demanded what I wanted, and they gave it to me. So when I went to his superior, he was cool, but I wasn't getting results. That was the second pay period. I went to corporate. I went through the chain, and I went to corporate. Now, of course, when you go to corporate, the people at that branch, they don't like that because you went over their head. Corporate gets involved. Yo, why we got contractors out here running and they not getting paid? And then another issue was, how is this guy making so much money? Why is he, because this became an issue when they saw how much they owed me, they were like, why is he running so many trucks? Corporate didn't like that. Corporate didn't like how many trucks I was running. And the reason why they didn't like it was for that reason. I was able to pretty much name my price. I had leverage. So corporate started to look into that branch to see why they were depending on me so hard and so much. Eric Field eventually got fired after that. And another guy took over. But to answer your question, because that was my little situation I had with T-Force, which was Dynamics at the time, you just go through the chain of command. Go to the operations supervisor first. If you can't get through the operations supervisor, then you're going to go to the branch manager. You can't go through the branch manager, and you need to go to corporate. You need to go to T-Force Corporate, which is in Dallas, Texas. You need to call them. You need to email them, whatever you need to do to get in contact with them. And trust me, as long as you know how to talk without, being demanding, without being ghetto, if you have a contract and your contract states that, and all your settlements show something different than what was agreed upon at the time of signing the contract, then you need to state that and tell them, man, I need the difference, the retroactive pay. Say, I need my retroactive pay that was not included on X amount of settlements in the past included on my next settlement. You need to pay me my retroactive. Y'all paying me $2.20 a piece, and we agreed on $3.40 a piece. So that means y'all owe me $1.20 a piece for 2 weeks, and I done delivered 1,500 pieces. So, and once you go corporate, problems should be resolved. How about Pronto Transport Services? That's cool. Pronto Transport, short, simple. It gets to the point. Pronto means quick. So imagine you saying I'm the owner of Get That Money LLC and was looking to get a contract with your company. I wouldn't hire him. Let me see. Yo, shout out from DMV. Been watching your videos past 3 days. Big game. Appreciate you for watching, Nino. Appreciate you for watching. J. Cole said on folding them trucking is fire. It sounds good, but in the business world, it's not. It's not. It's definitely not. If somebody came to me with on folding them trucking, they definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't hire them. I wouldn't hire them. If they pulled up to my house to deliver me a washer and dryer, I would refuse the delivery. And that's on the real. That's on the real. So you don't want those dirty dog trucking moving you? Listen, I don't want nothing that's not professional. All right? You got to be professional out here. You competing against other people. And that's why I don't think a lot of people that come into trucking, I think people just think there's opportunity available for everyone. I think that people don't understand that this is very competitive. You're entering into a competitive business, so everything matters. Like, you will get singled out and not be given opportunity based on your name. You will lose opportunity based on your name. Like, all this stuff matters. It all matters in the grand scheme of things. Big Hearn, what up? Hey, Mark, I deal with T-Force. I think I read that one. You supposed to put it in twice. Yo, big homie, I'm starting a cargo van business. What's the best tip you can give me coming in the game? Fresh, I'm following your game. So today I actually did some research. Cargo van business has surpassed box truck business as far as Google Trends is concerned. As far as search terms, more people are searching cargo van business than box truck business. And if we go back a few months, remember I started telling people that were thinking about box truck to get into the cargo van. I said, you know what? You might want to get in the cargo van. It's more opportunity. I started preaching the cargo van and giving you the compare and contrast. And pretty much we're here now. We're at this point that I knew we were going to get to. More people are interested in the cargo van business because it's just an easier way to get in. It's more affordable to get in. It's less costly once you're in there, and there's more opportunities. So to answer your question, if you're coming in, it's like I tell everybody, you're new though, so you probably haven't seen any of my live streams. I would come in, I would definitely find me a dedicated route. You need that dedicated route because that dedicated route is going to give you assurance. You're guaranteed that Monday through Friday, you got some money. You don't have to go searching. You don't have to go looking. The beautiful thing about a cargo van is there's a lot more opportunity than a box truck and way less restraints. All right. There's a lot more restraints on box trucking than it is with cargo. You can run to your heart's desire. with cargo van. So you want to start with something that's dedicated. I suggest an office supply account, Office Depot, Staples, which you can get through either T-Force, Waco. Office Depot is with T-Force. You can get Staples depending on your market with Waco. Capstone has it in some markets. I think Riverstone has it in some markets as well. So I would definitely get a dedicated contract with an office supply or an e-commerce. I know Capstone also has a USPS contract delivering e-commerce goods to the post office. So whatever you can find dedicated with a 3PL during the day, sometime between 5:30, 6 a.m., you would get to load out, and you should be able to finish your route sometime in the early to mid-afternoon. From there, I would hit those apps. They ain't over yet. All right. You made you about 300 already on your dedicated route. You still got more time in the day. You still got some light in the day. Now it's time to hit those apps. Look on Curry. Look on GoShare. Look on Freight. All right. All the apps. Start pulling stuff off the apps. All right. Look on Roadie. I don't give a damn what app you looking on. It doesn't even necessarily have to be general freight. It could be groceries. Go on Amazon Flex. Pull some Whole Foods grocery. Go on Spark. You need to have all those apps, and you need to be surfing those apps to see where the best opportunity is. Go on Curry. You might get some Sherwin-Williams paint deliveries. Go on GoShare. You might be able to pull some stuff off of out of Costco, or deliver some tires to Tesla. So first half of the day, going into the mid-afternoon, dedicated route. Late afternoon, evening, gig apps. Set your schedule. Work it from there. Let me see. Any advice for Felons? Reliable Roots LLC. For Felons, man, it's getting trickier with Felons now. Well, you can do OTR as a felon, no problem. When it comes down to like final mile things, when you're going into people's homes and stuff, it gets a little bit more trickier because there's a lot more liability at stake. There's liability at stake with OTR, but you're really not dealing with a consumer in a personalized private setting. So OTR is more apt to accept felons, whereas final mile isn't, because you're going to people's homes. It might be a guy's wife there by herself and you're delivering something and you have time. She's there by herself, and God forbid one of these guys was locked up for a SA crime. You can't. I just found out the other day you can't say SA. Y'all know what SA mean. Just think of Diddy and his crime, the crimes that he's been allegedly they saying he allegedly been doing. So SA, I just found out you can't say it on YouTube, or they're gonna shadow you or whatever it's called. Certain terms, but yeah. So that's why in final mile it's not felony friendly, but OTR is felony friendly. Now there are some final mile logistics companies that will hire felons depending on how long ago you were convicted and for what it was for. Obviously if it's for some type of theft, then it's most likely that they're not going to give you an opportunity. If it was for an SA crime, I almost said it, most likely they're not going to give you an opportunity. They're not going to put themselves at liability. They're not going to send you to somebody's home with somebody's wife, and trust you in there and, not, pull a P. Diddy. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah, it all depends, but there's plenty of opportunity OTR for felons. I'm feeling like T-Force screwing me on prices. Everybody been talking that they feel like T-Force is screwing them. I'm gonna break it down to y'all. I'm gonna break it down to you. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with y'all. If you're struggling as a trucker, like most truckers are, and I'm not saying that on the grand scheme of things, you see a lot of people that are in trucking complaining, right? it's messed up for them too. So everybody's cutting back. You see, what was it? Snapchat just laid off another 1,500 people. I already gave y'all the play. I told y'all. I gave y'all the whole play a few live streams ago. Everything that I said was going to happen is happening. What did I say is happening? Inflation. Then you got the government raising the rates to bring inflation down, right? When inflation starts coming down, which it has been coming down, what's going to come behind that? Companies are going to start to suffer. They're going to start laying people off. This is a time where companies are struggling. So they're trying to cut costs. So some companies are just going to get rid of you. Some companies are going to play games with you. They're going to play with your money because some people just don't have the balls enough to open their mouth. Some people don't pay attention to their settlement. They don't count their money. If you have a contract, then you need to speak up, and when you go present yourself and you present your grievance to whoever the powers that be, you need to make sure you talk yourself through it and you go in there strong. You know what you're talking about and you fight for what you agreed upon. Don't go in there and don't be prepared. Have your case together. Come in there with the facts, hit your points, and give them a chance to make right by it. If they don't make right by it, go up the chain of command. Go to the branch manager. If the branch managers don't do right, then go to corporate. This is just that time right now where companies are trying to cut costs. All companies in business are cutting costs right now. You got people getting laid off. You got companies cutting back. It's just where we're at right now as an economy. So, but if you feel like they're playing with your money, go fight for your money. You got a contract. Let me see. On the Guys Trucking LLC. I hope you joking. I hope you joking. Most apps will not accept. I'm located in San Antonio with plenty of mattress contracts, but I have a felony that is 3 years old. Yeah, 3 years might be too new. Yeah, 3 years might be too new. A lot of the apps not gonna accept felons. Yeah, you in a rough market too. San Antonio is really, I guess you would say, conservative. Yeah. 3 years is kind of new, so I know OTRs. They'll take you open arms, but when you're dealing with final mile and you're going into people's homes, it's just a lot of liability at stake for a felon. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let me see where did I leave off at. I didn't even set my timer. What time did I come on? I've been on. Where is the clock? I've been on 53 minutes. Shout out to Pippi. Let me see where I leave off at. All right, there I go. Birch Transportation LLC, that's cool. Thugnificent Trucking, nope. Let me see. Let me see. You said you'll never see $1 million truck business called Thug Trucking, More Money Truck. You definitely won't, because the powers that be that will give you the opportunity to build and scale so you can become $1 million trucking company, they're not going to give you those opportunities. They're going to overlook you. You are 100% right, and that's exactly what I was saying. They're going to overlook you. They're going to look past you. They're going to bypass you. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to make fun of you. You'll never get a chance to be that type of company with that type of name. You're absolutely right. Medical deliveries. T-Force has a medical division. T-Force Medical. I would recommend T-Force, man. And T-Force is always, well, at least when I was there, their medical division has always been strong as far as I can remember. So you want to try T-Force. If T-Force doesn't work, then you can try Spoke. Spoke has a good medical supply um, operation going on, medical supply. So you want to try those too. Budget truck is $525 a week. That's not including tax and 19 cents a mile. Can't go over 1,500 miles a week. What are you doing? If you're going OTR, then no. I don't care if you're going OTR and they putting a cap on you at 1,500 miles, then no, because as soon as you go over them 1,500 miles, they probably going to double that 19 cent a mile to 38 cent a mile or 50 cent a mile. They're going to double it. It's probably going to be 38 cent a mile, or some ungodly number. So if you're running OTR out the gate, no, because 1,500 miles a week ain't going to get you no money. You got a cap. And if you run over that 1,500 miles, you losing. You spending a arm and a leg every mile you run. So no, if you're doing final mile, you can get away with final mile and run less than 1,500 miles, right? Because you're local. But if you're going OTR, forget about it. Shark World say you got a 26-foot 07 Freightliner, 314,000 miles for $14K. Congratulations. At this point, y'all look like weirdos. Taurine said, Ruben, why are y'all so stuck on medical deliveries? I think people get stuck on medical deliveries in them cargo vans is because a lot of influencers on YouTube tell them that's the way to go. But those medical deliveries don't really pay anything. If I was going to get into the medical side of the delivery business with a cargo van, I would go medical supply. Medical supply pays more than the actual pharmaceutical. I would go supply than the actual pharmaceutical. So, I don't know. How can I reach out to the corporate manager in T-Force, because it seems like they didn't want to give me the number. They don't you can Google it. It's not hold on, man. Man, stuff ain't hard, man. Stuff ain't hard, man. See right there? Dallas, Texas. There go the number. Call that number and tell them you need to go directly to someone in corporate in Dallas, Texas. There go your number right there. All right? Like, man, it ain't hard. Listen, if somebody playing with my money, they don't have to give me the number. I'm going to go get the number. Even if I got to take a trip, write a letter, send a certified letter, send an email, send a smoke signal. You think I'm going to let somebody at an office that I'm probably making more, that I know when I was there, I was making more than everybody in there. You think I'm going to let somebody in an office stop me from getting them? No. It's the 2023, 2024. You can get a number easy. You see how quick I went and got that number? You see how simple that was? Can you stay busy doing final mile in Chicago area during Q4 through 2? You can stay busy doing final mile from Q1 to Q1. Winter season using a cargo van. If so, who do you recommend to contract with? Go out to Addison. Go to T-Force. Go to T-Force or go out to Bolingbrook, to RXO. Go over in the hillside to Veterans Distribution. Go out in Naperville to the Delivery Authority. There's plenty of places you can go here. You can definitely stay busy. all year long doing final mile. It's not as competitive as some of the other lanes because of the level of work that has to be done. A lot of people don't want to do that type of work. So there's always work in final mile. Somebody's always getting appliances. Well, you're in a cargo van, so you're going to be doing more on a smaller scale. Go to AIT Worldwide, formerly known as Select. So yes, there's plenty of work to keep you busy. Final mile doesn't really slow down like that. If you go look, we can go in D right now. I guarantee you, it's logistics companies hiring for final mile always. Janesville, Wisconsin, the building. Let me see. Let me see. Been running for 11 years. First time it's ever been slow for me this year. What are you running again, Ruben? Ruben, what lane do you run? What lane do you run, Ruben? Ruben, you're new here, right? What lane do you run? Ruben, did you put it? What lane do you run, Ruben? What do you run? You run final mile? Oh, you asked me about the medical deliveries. Yeah, so you running probably a cargo van. You shouldn't be slow. What market are you in? The PL complain. Paul Smith said, gotta be careful with 3PL. Complain today, no job tomorrow. I kind of touched on that. But you can't be scared. It's the way you do it when you go in there. You know, they do play games. Trust me. They play games. They play games with me. And when they got ready, when they got enough people to replace all the routes that I was doing and felt strong enough that they didn't have to depend on me no more, we talked about how they tried to do me with the non-compete. So, yeah, the 3PLs, you know, you got to be careful, but, you know, your money is your money. So, you know, that's a decision you're going to have to make. You're going to be a shrewd businessman with morals and principles and go in there and fight for your money regardless of how the outcome turns out, or you're going to sit on your hands. I tell you one thing, you sit on your hands and they get away with it, they're going to keep playing with you. They're going to keep playing with you. So it's going to go from them playing with your money to playing with other things. They're going to have you doing more for less. They already got you doing more for less. They're going to have you even doing more for less because they know they can get it out of you. Whatever they got to do to make for the powers to be, make sure that they fit within budget and they not going over budget, then that's what they're going to do. If it was me in there and you in there and they've been getting away with it with you and they had a choice, should we take from him or him? They're going to take it from you because they know not to play with me. And guess what? If they want to get rid of me and they play with me, I'm going to go demand my money. If they want to get rid of me, then so be it. You're not going to play with my money. I'm just going to go somewhere else where I'm respected. I'm not going to let nobody play with my money, especially if we agreed upon it and I'm working for it. So that's where remember how I always talk about problem solving? And the biggest job with being a business owner is your problem solving skills, your decision making skills. This is one of those decisions that you're going to have to make. It's a tough decision. Man, if I go in here and complain, they may get rid of me. They just might. Or should I just sit on my hands and just deal with it? Well, you deal with it. They're going to keep playing with you. I told you, this is a true industry. It's dog eat dog. Oh yeah, this ain't you going against, you know, other people that's your competitors, that's your peers. Man, it's the same thing. The people who you get to work from, they'll prey on you too. So this is one of those decisions that you're going to have to make. It's your business. I'm going to tell you how I would look at it. If I were you, being a seasoned business person, I have to do what's in the best interest for the business. Once you take your personal feelings out the equation and you think for the business, okay, I have to do what's in the best interest for the business. And the best interest for the business is that the business gets paid. The business needs to get paid what we agreed upon. All right. Put yourself in a mind state of a huge business. If you were a huge business, you know what you would do? You would be on the phone with your lawyer. But you're not a huge business. But think like you're a huge business. Look, listen, Goldberg, we signed this contract with T-Force for $3.40 a piece. These assholes over here been paying us $2.20 a piece. I need you to send them a letter of intent stating that they need to pay us immediately. We need a demand letter, not a letter of intent, a demand letter requesting payment. And then your lawyer is going to draft a demand letter. See, you ask me how I know all this. Your lawyer is going to draft a demand letter, and you're going to have all the sums that they owe you. You need to send all the sums that they owe you itemized. In that demand letter, your lawyer is going to send it. When they send that demand letter that comes certified with that legal counsel letterhead at the top, I guarantee you your money be on your next settlement. Now, you're going to get your money, but that's letting them know that, okay, we can't play with him. Now, that may go this way. We can't play with him. We ain't going to play with him no more. If you're a good person, they may continue to let you run. Or no, we can't pay with him. Pay him and work him out. Start cutting them off. Give them less and less. They're going to try to make you leave on your own. Give him less stops. Start playing with his money. Not playing with your money as far as not giving you the agreed upon rate, but giving you less stops so that you can't make enough that is worth your while. That's what a business decision maker would do. But you're not a big business. You're a small business, so you have to do a little bit more fighting and you have to represent yourself. But I'm using that parallel to kind of put you in the mind frame of you have to do what's best for the business. Business is business. We have a contract. I need mine, or there's going to be repercussions because you're not abiding by the agreed upon contract. So this is one of them decisions that you're going to have to make. I can't make it for you, but I kind of just told you what I would do. I'm going to do what's in best interest of the business all the time. All the time. Nothing personal. I've taken my personal feelings out. I'm going to do what's in the best interest of the business. What profit goals or how much money did you stash up before scaling up? I got one truck now. I'm profitable, looking to expand. Just want some advice on when. I told this story before. So the way I scaled up is one truck at a time, right? Each truck acquired a second truck. So started with a pickup truck, right? Started with nothing. I started with nothing with what I had, all right? Hustling off of Craigslist, did a bunch of jobs, saved up my money, made a lot of money just out of my pickup truck. Saw that I could scale up and be more efficient by renting a truck, a bigger truck, a 16-footer, right? Had the money, $225 a week, 10 cents a mile, $10 a day for the insurance. This is all before I was licensed, when I was still hustling. So one move would cover the truck rental for the week. So whatever the first move on Monday, paid for the truck, outside whatever fuel I burnt, and then pretty much everything else, the rest of the 7.5 days was profit, or 6.5 days was profit, right? So made a lot of money just with one truck, right? I look up, I got the phone still ringing. I know people that need work. Rented another truck. Did the same thing again, third truck. Started buying trucks, started replacing those rental trucks. No, I didn't start replacing those rental trucks. I started purchasing trucks. Now, once I started purchasing trucks, I had a contract because I was running Dynamics. So now I was able to start purchasing trucks, right? With a contract, right? And within a month and a half time, the truck paid for itself and was able to acquire another truck. Now, granted, this is 10 plus years ago. right? So trucks were a lot cheaper then. Everything was cheaper then. But I'm gonna tell you this: once I reached in my pocket that first time, I never reached in my pocket again. So once I made the initial investment, right, when I was first getting started, right, I never reached back in my pocket. And the first initial investment I made was using what I had. Once I saved up that money and started renting a truck, that truck acquired another truck. That truck acquired another truck. Those trucks started purchasing trucks. Once I purchased my first truck, that truck purchased the second. The second purchased the third. The third purchased the fourth, which was a new truck. The fourth ended up purchasing 5 and 6. 5 and 6 ended up purchasing 7. 7 ended up purchasing 8 and 9, so on and so forth. So when you get to a point where you got a truck, if you're profitable in that truck and that truck is paying you and there's cash flow and you're stacking your cash flow, once you have enough cash flow that you can go acquire a second truck, then that's how you know. If you got to go in your pocket, then you're not doing something right. Your business should be able to fund your business. That's the point of business. The business is going to pay you and it's going to cash flow and bank itself. If the business is not cash flowing itself and you're having to reach into your pocket, then it's not time. It's not time. So I think slow and steady wins the race. I think one truck at a time is where you're going to see success. A lot of people jump out the window, go get trucks on credit. And, there's a lot of different strategies. I've watched people on YouTube say they don't go get used trucks. You got people that rather go get a newer truck. All my used trucks were 8 years old. All of them were 8 years old, 7 or 8 years old. All my used ones when I was building my fleet at that time. They were 7 and 8 years old. Now, you mind you, I'm local, so I don't have the worry of running OTR and the truck breaking down in the middle of Oklahoma on some dark back road and I ain't got a cell signal. Those weren't worries of mine. I was looking for something that was very affordable and efficient that I could maximize my profitability with. So one truck at a time, and it was nothing for me to recoup my money and that truck to purchase and acquire another truck. So go in your pocket the first time, which you already did, and from now on, your business should be able to acquire whatever the business needs. If you're having to go back into your pocket for something, then you're not ready. Darren B said, that's great. We don't need no more box trucks. You must be talking about when I gave the news that the cargo van interest has surpassed box truck interest. Yeah, cargo van interest has surpassed box truck interest officially. I order an Uber, that'll be everywhere where it gets less jobs, you'll see. I don't think within a year. Here's why. On demand final mile on the smaller scale side, just in totality, is going to go up another 4% within the next couple of years. So there's still a demand for vans. You still have a lot of retailers that haven't tapped into apps yet that are going to be offering on demand deliveries. I think retail is going to, like clothing retail is going to tap into it. Target is looking to strengthen their e-commerce delivery. I don't like the way they're going about it. I may talk about it on a show coming up, but they're trying to figure it out. They acquired Ship in 2017, 2018, and they just haven't been able to compete with the likes of Amazon or Walmart. So there's still a lot of room for growth. There's still a lot of opportunity. You still have a lot of people who haven't converted over into e-commerce purchasing yet. And eventually these people are going to be forced to have to do it. So you're going to have a whole new wave of consumers coming in. And then you have to factor in the amount of stores that are closing, the brick and mortar stores that are closing in some of these major cities like here, Philadelphia, New York, LA, San Francisco. A lot of brick and mortar stores are closing. because that foot traffic is just not there anymore. Also, a lot of the smash and grabs, the theft. This has been all in the news, how retail theft is just skyrocketing, and it's not just retail theft from people coming from the outside, internally as well. There's been a couple of Target stores that have closed here in my area, mainly because of internal retail theft. They closed 2 Targets. I think they're going to close a few more. Some Sam's Clubs have closed. Macy's is gone from a few spots here. They closed the one in Water Tower. I think they're closing the one in Northbrook Mall. And this is an anchor store. So when I talked about the other day, when the anchor stores close, then the whole mall dies. Once the anchor stores start to leave, the smaller stores die, because the anchor stores bring in the foot traffic. If you got a mall and it has one anchor store, let's say 2 anchor stores, and the anchors are Macy's and JCPenney's, and then you got all the other little stores in the mall, Charlotte Russe, Express, Abercrombie, H&M, all these little stores, Zara, blah, 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 blah. If Macy's and JCPenney's, the 2 anchor stores, leave, then the mall going to cripple. And we've seen that happen. I've seen that happen in this market. I've seen it happen in other markets in the past 4 years. So with that happening, with all the other things that I just mentioned, it's going to introduce more people into purchasing e-commerce. And those people are going to be older baby boomers. Like my OG, she don't purchase nothing on e-commerce. She don't even have Amazon. But eventually, if Macy's leaves State Street, if the one on State Street goes, she ain't going to have no choice. She can't go to Water Tower no more. Northbrook. Well, she ain't go to Northbrook. If they close Orland, they close the Macy's in Orland. For y'all don't live in Chicago, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But Macy's is her store. If they close the flagship downtown, then it's a wrap. They already closed one flagship. She's going to be forced to have to go online. And a lot of these flagship stores are closing. The Gap is gone here. Express is gone. Forever 21 is gone. Top Shop is gone. Uniqlo is gone. What else is gone? Shit, even restaurants are leaving. Grand Lux just is their last day here is going to be December 24th. I don't even know why they leaving. A lot of these retail stores are leaving. Foot traffic is leaving. People are shopping online. So the people that still enjoy going into those stores are going to have to be forced to go online. It's going to introduce a new, older demographic of online shoppers, which is going to increase the amount of e-commerce orders, which is going to increase the deliveries, which is going to increase the demand for more vehicles to get that stuff out to the consumer. So I know that was a long-winded answer, but what do you think of it? Hey, Mark, what do you think of Arabian runners trucking? It sounds like a human trafficking business. Sound like you human trafficking Arabs. That's what it sounds like to me, Arabian runners. I'm just keeping it funky with you. And that's another thing, man. We live in a real sensitive society, so you got to be careful on the name you pick based off of that, too. See, somebody else said Arabian runner sounds like a smuggling ring or a horse that died before hitting the finish line. Definitely sound like some type of human trafficking. What's about? Let me see. All right, Kevin, you said if you got the proof it's on the contract, then present it in that chain of command. Go to your operations supervisor, then go to the branch manager. If you can't get any answers from those two going up the chain, then you got to go to corporate. When you go to corporate, just know what's going to come behind that, though. And Mark, contract, 3PL can fire you anytime. Yeah, so just because you got a contract with the 3PL, it's in the contract that you can part ways at any time. It's not a contract that's based on a time constraint. Okay, I'm signing this contract with RX, so we have to meet the agreement for a 1-year term. It's not a contract like that. It's just basically a rate contract. Okay, here's the contract. This is what the rates we agreed upon. It's pretty much just a rate contract. you, the contractor, or the 3PL can dissolve the contract anytime. You are not you're not forced, or you don't have to run for a specific time period. It's the contract is a rate contract. That's it, and that's all. You said my last charge was 18 years ago, looking to start curbside early next year. Y'all think I'll be okay? Depends on the logistics company. It depends on what the crime was for. Jay Stowe said he was joking. Mid-South expedited in Memphis, Tennessee. Mid-South sounds good. Shout out to Cajun Cowboy. Much respect, my brother, always dropping jewels without a price tag. Madman Serpents, appreciate you for tuning in. INGS Logistics, LLC, what up, what up? All right, so Madman Serpent says he's on parole and he passed the background check with JB Hunt and RXO. Daniel, what up, what up, what up? I have to make sure, because they said one thing after another. I will deal with it in the morning. Appreciate it, Mark. It's all good. Just got done getting my ass kicked on the worst lows dedicated ever made. 1,400 though. Hey, man. 1,400 one day, final mile. Hey, I say it all the time. It's very labor intensive work, but it pays exceptionally well. It pays exceptionally well, but it's hard work, but it pays exceptionally well. But man, keep it up though. Keep it up. Man said that final mile next level, the Peloton. You doing Peloton deliveries? I believe just doing appliances would make it a lot easier than furniture moving. You're absolutely wrong, Daniel. Daniel, you are absolutely wrong. You are 100% wrong. That's how I know you never did this before. Furniture is way easier than appliances. Way easier. You think a mattress or a box spring is harder than a stack washer and dryer? You think a love seat is harder than a 28 cubic foot French door refrigerator? You think it's harder to get a love seat up 3 flights of stairs, or a 28 cubic foot French door refrigerator? If you got to take something off the sofa, the only thing you taking off is the legs. You may have to screw them off, or you may have to get a drill and take the screw out. With that refrigerator, you may have to take off doors. Depending on the refrigerator, if it's that LG, you got to take it off. You got to go under the refrigerator. You got to take the door off. You got to disconnect the water line. It's under the refrigerator. That LG got a computer on the top of it. You got to know where to disconnect it, because it's grounded into that little computer database thing on top. You think furniture is easier? No, it's not. You think furniture is hard? No, furniture is way easier delivering than appliances. Way easier. I'd rather deliver a sleeper sofa than to deliver a refrigerator. I'd rather deliver a sleeper sofa than to deliver a refrigerator, because the only thing I got to do is grab it and go. That refrigerator, I got to put straps on. I got to squat all the way down. I got to make sure the straps is right. Depending on if I'm at the top or at the bottom, depending on how steep the stairs is, I may have to lean back, lean forward. You got to know how to. No, it's a different game. We get to the doorway, I'm carrying. Now I got to squat down low so the top won't hit it. Then we got to ascend the stairs. We got to drop down, readjust the straps. Furniture is way easier than appliances. Way easier. Way easier. I'd rather move an armoire than move a refrigerator. I'd rather move an armoire than move a stack washer and dryer. You're absolutely wrong, man. Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. CRST played with our money. I got them, so now they lightweight blackballed us. I don't give a F. They gave us our money. So Pippi is basically telling you what I said. You got a decision you got to make. Either you want your money or you want people to play with you. You got to do what's best for the business. Pretend you a big business. You a big business. You don't care who play with your money, whether it's a small company or a large company. You want to get your money. The company, look at it like this. You own a house or you rent an apartment. Your utility, whoever the utility company is in your market for light or gas, don't pay your light bill. Let me know what they're going to do. Go 2-3 months without paying your light bill. Let me know what happened. Or pay them what you think they deserve. If your light bill 100, man, I only think you deserve 50. Let me know how that worked for you. Let me know how they stand on business. I bet you they stand on business. Don't pay your gas bill. You're going to be sitting up there in the cold. You ain't going to be able to cook no food. Don't pay your rent. Let me know how your landlord, let me know how that worked for you. Don't pay your mortgage. Let me know how the bank handle that. They're going to put your ass out. You think they're going to care if you homeless or not? Nah. They want their money. All right, same thing. If the logistics company owe you money, like, asking me, I appreciate you, looking to me for advice. But, man, I'm going to do what's in the best interest of the business. I don't care about what the repercussion is of me going after the money they owe me. If they try to blackball me afterwards, so be it. You owe me. They owe you, and you don't go fight for your money, then they're going to hold you. Excuse my language, but that's what's going to happen. So either you're going to go fight for your money because you have a contract, you have a business, which means you need to stand on business regardless of what the outcome is going to be afterwards, or you're going to continue to let them take advantage of you. And that's that. That's what I'm doing to make sure my business will pay. Shout out to Stafford Trucking. I'm still a rookie in the business, but I'm doing my best and handle it. Yeah, when you on the new, people gonna try to play with you. But this is where you stand on business. Don't let nobody play with your money. Even if you lose it, go get your money. This goes back to, again, I'm just reiterating myself. I said the hardest thing in business is problem solving. Decisions. You're going to be faced with tough decisions. This is one of those decisions, but you got to do what's in the best interest of the business. Got to do what's in the best interest of the business, always. Olivia Nelson, set to take my class ACEL test December 19th, and if when I pass, would to put me into a better position to secure my own contracts, or will my background still be a problem to this expunge? If you run an OTR, you'll be good. OTR is full of felons. It's plagued with felons. You'll be fine in OTR. If I were you, and I'm just keeping it 1,000, some people may disagree. You go get your class A, I'd just go be a company driver. That's what I would do, at least right now. I would go be a company driver. You said you don't want to go OTR unless it's like Austin, Dallas, or Houston, so that I can be home day. All right, well, you should get with a company that's regional or local. I think you should go company, especially in Texas. That's a big market. You should be able to make decent amount of money down there. Texas is a lot of volume for outbound freight. It's a big market. You got the 4th largest city, and I believe like the 8th largest and the 9th largest, whatever Dallas is. It's a good market for outbound freight and interstate freight. So you should be all right. I would get with a local company. Shout out to Back at It. Peace and blessings. Happy holidays. There's a demand for Uber drivers, except the company will make money. Drivers will be treated like Uber drivers and make less. So here's the thing with business. Here's the thing with business. And here's the thing with trucking. I say this all the time. The main reason I was able to make a lot of money initially is because I started a moving company first. There was no hierarchy above me. There was no middleman above me. It was me and the customer. I set my rates. If I want to charge $100 an hour for two guys, that's what I charge. If I want to charge $150 an hour, that's what I charge. $300 an hour, that's what I charge. There's nobody taking 50% from me. I'm making 100% of the revenue, and it's not costing me anything. I'm making money off the labor, the customer's paying for the truck, and making money off the materials. It's not costing me anything. I'm making money on everything. When you're running in trucking, OTR, you're dealing with brokers, you're dealing with people that are making money off you, making money before you. Dispatcher, you got people that are putting their hands into the pot and taking their money before you get yours. You run a 3PL, they're dealing with the retailer. Why? Because they're a national company. You can't go into Lowe's and get a contract. You think Lowe's going to give you and your one box truck a contract? You think Lowe's want to deal with thousands of you? No. They'll deal with 2 or 3 or 4 national logistics companies across the country. They'll let them deal with a bunch of yous, and then they'll cut them a check every quarter. So we'll cut 3 checks every quarter for the 3 companies we're dealing with, and we'll let them deal with the independent contractors. We'll let them deal with the headaches. We'll let them deal with the liability. We'll let them deal with it because the shit rolls downhill. The customer bought it from us. We provide the delivery service. We'll take the payment up front. We'll roll that down to the logistics company. The logistics company is going to take 50% off the top or 45% off the top, and then they're going to have you go do the work. And you're going to be liable for everything. Same thing with the cargo van. All the way down to the gig apps. The gig app has the relationship with the retailer. You think you and your one cargo van can go, yeah, people be coming to me, yeah, somebody told me, I was watching a YouTube video, they told me I could just go into Walmart and talk to the manager and they need help, box truck help all the time. I just be looking like, man, send me the link to that video. Because this might be the next guy I might have to throw a shot at. Nah, they're not going to give you that opportunity. These big companies, they're not going to deal with a bunch of independents. So there's always going to be a middleman. And you're going to always have to know how to play the game and go for the best opportunities. Now, as time goes on, I'm just being honest with you because I've been doing it a while. As time goes on, things are going to get, I don't want to use the word watered down, but, as time goes on, things become more popularized, more people enter the space, less opportunity becomes available, and it just doesn't seem like you're getting more for what you're putting in. When I tell you the rates that for Final Mile are the same as the rates from when I got started back in the day are the same, I'm not kidding you. I'm not saying this for theatrics. I'm dead ass serious. Rates are the same. But everything else has went up. Everything around what it takes to run that business has went up. Insurance, the cost of trucks, the cost of renting trucks, fuel, labor. Labor is probably has went up probably, let me see, 20, 30, about 200, 300%, depending on what part of the country and what minimum wage was back then. Back then, I was paying $10 an hour. Can't get nobody to work in my market doing this type of work for less than $25, $30 an hour. So it's about 300%. But remember, the rates are the same. As far as what you're making from the 3PL is the same. So now you have a 200, 300% markup on the labor. Fuel is higher, right? $3, $4 in some parts of the country. Back then when I got started, it was just touching $2. Rental trucks back then, $450 a week for a 26-foot box truck, 12 cents a mile, and they'll give you 1,000, 1,500 free miles. No down payment, no deposit, none of the stuff that they send you through now. Box truck, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 15,000. A box truck now that's equivalent to $60,000 at Penske or Enterprise, 25,000. A box truck, a high-end box truck on Enterprise or Penske was 25,000. My first box truck was 7,900. My first new box truck, I paid 33,000 for it. My first new box truck, I bought a new box truck in 2014. My Ford truck I bought was brand new. It was $33,000. Brand spanking new. I swear to God. So everything that it requires to do this work has went up, but the rates are still the same. So as time goes on, things evolve, and you have to do more for less. $1 today is not worth what it was back then. Hence inflation. So that means you have to come up with a strategy, right? Me running a cargo van, I'm going to do my dedicated run. I'm going to work the apps, but simultaneously when I'm trying to work the apps, I'm trying to create opportunities where I'm cutting out the middleman, and I'm cutting out the middleman by marketing myself directly to consumers. I'm going to start a consumer-based business, right, with my cargo van where consumers are going to contact me directly. I'm going to use things like Thumbtack. I got a cargo van, so that's going to open you up to Thumbtack and TaskRabbit, right? Stuff like that where I can do deliveries, pickup, deliveries, drop-offs, and build up me a customer database like that where I'm not necessarily wholeheartedly dependent on the apps. I have a network of consumers that I'm dealing with directly, so now I'm getting 100% of the revenue. And then on days where I'm not dealing directly with customers, then I can use and rely on the apps as a final resort. This is how you got to think. You got to think like a businessman. So just, I get where you're going with it, but whenever there's a will, there's a way. You just cut out the middleman. You cut out the middleman by creating a business where you're dealing directly with the consumer. You got a van. Just because you got a van don't mean you have to do deliveries. I got a van. Shit, I can build me a small little tool rack. Now I go mount TVs. I can pick the TV up and deliver it and mount it for you. So now here's $100 for the pickup and the delivery, and I got an upcharge, $100 to mount it. Oh, it's a 65 or bigger, 85. All right, it's going to be a $50 upcharge. You want me to mount it in concrete or brick? Another $50 upcharge. You want me to mount it over a fireplace? Got to bring the ladder in. Another $50 upcharge. Need a second guy. Another $75 upcharge. That's what I would do. So I would do my dedicated work. Then I would try to schedule me things dealing with consumer, my pickup delivery service. I don't give a damn if I'm running laundry. I don't care what I'm running. If I'm dealing directly with the consumer where I can charge the consumer directly and get 100% of the revenue, then that's what I'm focusing on. And then I'm utilizing the apps as a last resort. Because you're right, it's going to get more competitive. And as the more competition does what? Drives down rates. What time is it? 9:24. All right, I got about a few more minutes. I got to get out of here. If lenders are offering loans, should I get the loan or wait until I absolutely need the capital, even though I don't have a lot of working capital? I'm telling you right now, money is expensive right now. To buy money, getting a loan is buying money. That's how we look at it in the business world. If you buying money, and money costs money. Money costs a lot more than it did 3 or 4 years ago. If you don't have a lot of working capital, one, how is your business doing? Because I've seen a lot of people take out loans, and now if they were failing prior to getting the loan, now they're just failing with a loan. So now they've taken out another bill that they got to pay back monthly, and then spent that money and failed with that money. and now they still failing, but now they owe $30,000 or $40,000 at a high interest rate if you borrow money now. So and right now, trust me, it's hard to get a loan right now. Banks are very tough, so you might apply, you might get denied. It's tough getting a loan. Me personally, I just seen so many people take out loans and just still not do good. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You need to assess the situation. I mean, if you want me to take a look at what your business is doing, I could take a look at what your business is doing offline. Maybe take a look at your books and maybe give you some advice. But you have to be careful with loans, man. Deal is warehouses cost so much, the pay is going to equate to minimum wage for e-commerce. People now are working 10 to 12 hours for $145 to $180. I think I just kind of answered that question. I think people need to focus on consumers, dealing with consumers. There's still opportunities out here where you can deal directly with the consumer. Listen, if the economy continues to go the way that it's going to bring more people into the space. More people into the space, more competition, which is going to drive down rates, right? It's granted, it's going to happen. As things get popularized, rates go down. Or they stay the same and everything else around it goes up. In this case, as far as like final mile. We know e-commerce is going to continue to grow. And as it continues to grow, more people are going to come into the space. So what does that mean? That means, one, you need to be an early adopter, right? You need to get in. You need to stake your place, right? You need to stake your place as an early adopter, right? So you can have tenure and seniority, so that when you start approaching some of these places, they see your past, your history, you've been around for a while. Same thing when you're pitching yourself to consumers and marketing yourself to consumers. Direct consumers directly. All right. So now you know how to maneuver around the space. Because here's the thing, as you come in, the people who come in next year, the year after next, they're going to start doing, if they're not doing it already, some of these apps, they're going to start paying people on a tier base. I know the guy earlier mentioned Uber or something like that. They're going to pay you on a tier base. So if you're an early adopter and you came in, let's say TaskRabbit 2-3 years ago, they may have you at this tier. Now, let's say in 2026, somebody that comes in, they'll probably have them at a lower tier. Now, because you came in let's say 2019 or 2018, you're an early adopter and you were with this company early on in the early stages. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to lower whatever the agreed upon rates are for you. You're grandfathered in. But as new entrants come into the space, they're going to get paid on a lower tier. This is why I say it's signing up for these apps now, even if you don't plan on utilizing them right now at the moment, you want to, because you never know when you might need to depend on it, or you want to be in and you want to have that sign up date early, because as time goes on, you're right, they're going to start changing their contracts, and they're going to start paying people less. The more competition, the less they're going to have to pay you. At least until regulations may come into place of some of these gig apps. I think eventually some of these gig apps are going to have to go through some type of regulatory, especially with the gig apps that with the moving and stuff, because the FMCSA, I know the Illinois Commerce Commission here, they steady send tickets to Dolly. I talked to an ICC officer last year because I got a ticket on one of my trucks because it didn't have a cab card in there. I forgot to put the cab card in one of the trucks, and they were doing a move, and the Illinois Commerce Commission pulled up on them, and they just did a random, check, because it was that time of year where they target certain areas, and the truck was fine, but I didn't put the cab card in that particular truck, so they gave me a ticket for it. All right. And I happened to be there, and he was just like, we were talking. I was asking him about the apps. I'm like, man, how these apps don't have to go through the same protocols that we do? And he said they do. They just don't. You know what I'm saying? they connect consumers with the service provider, and they act as a broker, but they still have to be licensed to do so. It's like we send Dolly and Thumbtack, we send them tickets via mail all the time. All the time. So a lot is going to change over the next few years. You just got to get in early, I think. You got to get in early, and I think in between you doing dedicated work with your van, I think you need to have a consumer based lane there in between dedicated and gig. You need to have something in the middle where you're dealing with a consumer directly, and I think you'll be fine. What about Oakbrook, Mark? I'm sure there's a Macy's over there. There is one over there, but they're closing Northbrook though. What up, Mark? What do you think about Arabian Runners Trucking LLC? The channel pick is my logo. I don't see the channel pick art. I just see a big A, like you see on the screen. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Arabian Runners Trucking LLC, just off the top of my head, I think of like some type of smuggling operation or some type of human trafficking, trafficking Arabs. That's what I think, man. I'm, you know, other than that, I mean, it's not ghetto or anything, but I mean, if you like it, it is what it is. But that's just what comes to mind off the top of my head. When it comes to trucking, I think the simple is better. I think that in a lot of things, I think less is more. And I apply that. Less is more into pretty much everything I do for the most part. I think 3 letters. I think a name. Let's say your name is obviously you're Arab. So let's say your last name. I don't know what your last name is. Let's say it's Muhammad. You go with Muhammad Transport. But here's the thing. Here's another thing too. You're in America, and you know how people feel about Arabs in this country. And I'm just keeping it 1,000. This is what we do on this channel. So going back to what I was saying earlier, you don't want, and I used this example earlier, you want to kind of, if a person looks at your, and this is just me, if a person looks at your company on paper, you don't want them to be able to identify anything. That you don't want them to be able to identify what your nationality, your ethnicity, your creed, whether you're a man or a woman. You want it to be simple. Let's say if we didn't know, if UPS wasn't as big as UPS is, and you just saw UPS, you wouldn't know if UPS was a black owned, white owned, Hispanic, Arab, man, woman, transgender, nothing. You wouldn't know. Same thing with RXO. Same thing with Schneider. Same thing with JB Hunt. Same thing with T-Force. I think less is more. With Arab runners, Arabian runners, that's, we know you're Arab. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think less is more, man. Mark, when is the book dropping? Man, I ain't writing no book. Man. I don't even do mentorship. You think I'm gonna write a book? I ain't gonna write no book. That would be dope though if I could get some. Nah, I wouldn't write no book, man. My life ain't interesting, man. Wouldn't nobody read my book? I ain't writing no book. See, somebody said it right here. Yeah, I wouldn't put your ethnicity in it, bro. Because here's the thing, you're dealing with brokers. Like, I could just imagine. Less is more, man. Less is more. 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 Edgar, what up? Shout out to Milwaukee. Milwaukee in the building. A neighbor to the north. I don't see your logo, bro. I don't see your logo. Me personally, I'm not telling you what to do. You asking for my advice. I definitely wouldn't put Arab anything. I wouldn't put black anything. I wouldn't put white anything. I wouldn't put Hispanic anything. I wouldn't put anything that's going to be able for a person to be able to identify who or what I am, because people are going to profile you. You're going to have different people up there. Here's the thing, as a business person, you want to make yourself open for all opportunities, right? You want to make yourself opening for all opportunities, and you may be killing opportunities based on your name. There are people that feel a certain type of way about Arabs in this country after 9/11. You got to understand that most of the brokers are good old boys. A lot of trucking people, most people in trucking is good old boys. Veterans. You got veteran-owned brokerage firms. You got veteran-owned agencies. Some of your plight is similar to some of the plight that we face. So you don't want to kill your opportunity before it gets started. And it's sad that we even have to have this conversation. But that's just the world we live in. Imagine me owning a black-owned moving company. And I told this story before. It was a guy we moved a couple times. And it was one time he was talking to one of my workers, my employees. And he called the office. Call got to me. My brother's like, so-and-so want to talk to you. I get on the phone. What's up? Yeah, customer want to talk to you. Normally when a customer want to talk to you, it's something bad. I'm like, man, I don't want to talk. What's going on? What y'all break? No, we ain't break nothing. It ain't nothing bad. He just want to talk to you. About what? It's nothing bad. He just want to talk to you. Customer get on the phone. Mark? Yes, it's Mark. Hey, this is so-and-so. One of your crews is out here moving around. It's the second time we moved you. And I was talking to the guy, and he told me this is a black-owned company. I said, yeah, it's a black-owned company. He's like, but you don't market it as a black-owned company. I said, the last truck you came was wrapped. This truck isn't wrapped. It's all white, but the last truck I seen, it was a white guy on it with a with a dolly. And when I go on your website and I go to the About Us page, there's a white guy on that, and your messaging system, when you call the 800 number, there's like a white lady on that. And I never knew this was a black-owned company. You market it like it's a white company. I said, yeah. He said, well, you get it then. So I just wanted to call and commend you, because you actually get it. A lot of us don't get it, because you would get way less business in a city where we only make up 30% of the population, and the 30% of the population we make up would rather go rent a U-Haul. So I know majority of business is the majority, and you probably wouldn't get as much business as you would get if they knew it was going to be black people coming into their homes. So you get it. I just wanted to tell you that you get it, man. Keep doing your thing, brother. So it's sad that, when early on naming my company and even marketing my company, before I spent thousands of dollars on wrapping trucks and the images to go on the trucks and the build out of the website, all this came into mind. I remember when I did the first wrap, I got flack from people within the company. Why you didn't put a black person on there? All right, if I put a black person on the truck, you ain't gonna be working 6-7 days a week. And it's sad that we had this conversation, but at the end of the day, I have to do what's best for the business. I know what people think. Once you book the job and it's June 1st and it's moving day and your lease is up and 3 black guys show up, ain't nothing you can do that day. You got to roll with it. Now they came and they did a great job, and it wasn't as bad as what you would have thought it was if you would have went to the website and it would have been Thugs R Us moving, and you would have seen me up there with my locks and da 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 da. They would have profiled me and kept going down the line and called somebody else. So it is what it is. Arabian runners trucking. I think less is more. I definitely wouldn't put my ethnicity in it, because in this country, y'all got a similar plight to us, maybe a little worse after 9/11. So, and trucking is a good old boy industry, man. So I know the decision is yours, man. I that's just my advice, man. Uh, I haven't seen your logo though. Is a good monetary amount percentage of your personal to invest into. How much do you think is a good monetary amount percentage of your personal income to invest into the stock market monthly? I'm currently moving away from my debit card, 100% stashing all money in stock. You know, it's funny you said that because I read an article about an hour before I went live on Bitcoin and how more people are plowing money into Bitcoin because they can lend it out for a better interest rate than it is putting money in the bank right now. It all depends on your cost of living. So after you paid yourself and you've paid your bills, depending on what you have left, obviously, whatever. I don't know if you're a church going person, you got to put your 10% into your tithes, and then you want to save some stuff. But if you're going to use, let's say, the market as your saving, like today, like most of my stock has been lent out. Like I'm making money off my stock. Like I lend out my stock, they pay me a percentage on it. Same thing with cryptos. Certain cryptos I'm staking. I'm staking all my Solana. I can't touch my Solana. If I tried to go sell my Solana, I wouldn't be able to go sell it right now because I got it staked. I would have to unstake it. I would have to wait for the unstaking holding period for that money to clear to come back into be available for me to sell it. I'm staking my Cardano. So it all depends on how much money you have left and how much money you're going to have left to live. I think 5%, 10% is not bad, depending on how much money you make. I'm a daily investor. So I dollar cost average in every day. Every day I dollar cost average in a little over $100 into different assets. So I dollar cost average in about $50, $60 a day on in crypto, and some days a little more because I have some assets that I do a one time a week buy, and then I have some that I aggressively buy. So the ones that I aggressively buy, it's two that I'm aggressively buying right now. Well, actually, I just finished my position on Fetch, so I hit my 10,000 shares of Fetch, so I'm done. I'm not investing into that no more. I'm investing into Hedera every day, $25, and I'm investing into Render, $25 every day. Solana, I do one big purchase once a week. VeChain, one big purchase once a week. And then I got a few other coins. I don't want to tell all my positions. So yeah. So Monday is usually a big withdrawal day for me because all those once a week orders go in Saturday, and then obviously Saturday and Sunday is a non-banking day, and that comes out of my account on Monday. And then those two other assets, it pulls 7 days a week from my account. On the stock side, I have stocks that I buy, whenever I'm looking at the market, I want to trade or pull out of something and put into another. But I do have one that I'm aggressively buying in every single day. I'm dollar cost averaging in $50 into Rivian. I'm buying $50 worth of Rivian every single day, 5 days a week. All right. And then I have other shares that I buy depending on what I'm looking at for the day. I may move something around, buy something here, buy something there. So yeah. So I'm investing thousands of dollars into the market a month. So it all depends on what your income is, how much you can afford to invest, and how much you can afford to lose. So it all depends on individual. But if you're traditional, I think 5 to 10% is cool. I'm a little bit more riskier investor. So currently have $1,800 surplus from my personal expenses. Well, here's the thing. If you want to put your money into the market, you can put it into USDC, and then you can get 5% there instead of putting it into the bank. So if you got, let's say, $1,800 just sitting, you got it sitting in a checking account or a savings account, just throw it into USDC. I trust USDC. I don't rock with Tether or any other ones. I use USDC. Throw that surplus of money into USDC, let it sit there, get the 5% daily. And then if you want to move it into an asset, you can just transfer it into an asset and don't have to worry about getting taxed, because it only gets taxed on it once you sell and pull it out of the exchange. So I would put my money into USDC. I don't even have a savings account. I just got a checking account for my bills, my personal bills, and my play money. Anything that I have saved, money that comes in, that surplus of money, it goes straight into USDC, and then it goes into assets. So I got a few different brokerages that I use. I spread my money out like that. I don't have any money in the bank. I use USDC as my saving because I'm getting 5% on that in comparison to 0.061%. 0.061 in comparison to 5%, totally different ball game. Totally different ball game. So that's how I would do it if I was you. Somebody actually sent me a DM the other day thanking me because I told them where to put they surplus of money at, and they've been seeing the money. Shout out to everybody that I put my crypto plays about a month ago in the members only section right before the bull run started, and a few people done hit me up and told me they done made a significant amount of money off the plays that I put in there. So it's not financial advice. That's just my play for this bull run, because I got a bull run account, and then I got a long-term account for crypto. Same thing with stock. I got an aggressive trading account, brokerage account, and then I use M1 for my long-term blue chip stuff that I don't even touch long term. So yeah, if you got a surplus, I would throw it in the USDC and just get that 5%, and then you can even borrow it out. So appliances are rough. My dude's route today was 1,400 pounds, mind you. He has to lift that possibly up to 3 times. He's picking it up from the store, delivering most times haul away. He shot him. Yeah, appliances is rougher, Daniel, than furniture. Black Horse Carriage Logistics. Black Horse Carriage Logistics is cool. A little long for my liking, but it's cool. Toreen said, Art, on behalf of us blacks, no. Just broke my first Sprinter cargo van yesterday on the road with it now from Chicago to Phoenix. Shout out to Eric, man, from Chicago. We got let me see. What's a reasonable price for a cargo van starting out? That all depends. If you're looking for $1,500 to $2,500 to $3,500, so it all depends. You gotta let me know what you're looking for. Is it too late for a coaching session? Nope, it's not too late, but you need to get it in, because I'm considering stopping coaching at the top of the year. Thinking about stopping coaching, man. I feel like the people that I ain't gonna say nothing. Yeah, I'm thinking about cutting coaching off at the top of the year, man. So, but it's not too late. It's still open right now. If we're not doing Mark, love your word play. Let me see. Felix, appreciate that. Already registered. The name, may have to change it. Let me see. Mark, what's going on late on the check-in? Just talking, answering some questions, talking. Let me see. What's the most amount of trucks you ran at one time? 15. You must be new to the channel, Ryan. 15 trucks. C. Simmons, business is profitable, just have to be disciplined. Thanks, bro. It's all good. I need work and constantly need trucks. Gotta be careful with these loans now. They're building interest into the loan and can't pay off the principal. Yeah, so a lot of repos out there. A lot of people, listen, the credit card deficit is the highest it's ever been. It's like 1 point something trillion. I forget the number. but I was reading in the news this morning. Credit card deficit is the highest it's ever been. It's going to get even higher after this holiday season. People don't have money. They're spending money that they don't have. The banks are charging a lot more for money right now. Um, Interest rates are high. Inflation is coming down, but the Fed said today, just because inflation is coming down, we're going to keep the rates high for a long time. We're not bringing rates down. That's what goes back to what I said a few months ago. I think you may see some of the new norm. This may be the new norm. I think rates may go back down, retrace back to maybe 5%, but I don't think it's going to get back lower than that, especially after what they said today as far as the rates not coming down anytime soon. So even though inflation is coming down, they're saying we're not lowering the rates. We're going to keep it this way for a while. We want to make sure. Why? Because they see people still spending money. Yes, there's a whole thing on TikTok, the number one whatever they call it. What's that shit they do on TikTok? Every now and then they do a different one, challenge or whatever, the broke challenge or complain challenge, whatever is going on TikTok. Everybody complaining about how much stuff costs. People are really messed up out here in these streets. But there's still opportunity. You got to invest. You have to divest, right? You got to not divest. You have to practice delayed gratification. Spend less, lower your living expenses, work more, increase your revenue, lower your living expenses. I'm investing a couple $100 a day into the market. I probably made more money today, and it's a fact because Bitcoin hit an all-time high today for the year. Not an all-time high period, but for the year. It hit 45,000. All coins are running. I'm making a lot of money right now, sitting here talking to y'all. And I said this was going to happen. I put it in the members only section, and I told people a month or two ago to invest. We probably going to see a $50,000 Bitcoin before the end of the year, and this is unusual in comparison to the previous cycles. But shit happens. What we waiting on a Bitcoin ETF, and they said, well, we're not going to approve it this year. We'll probably approve it in January. So now all the anticipation for that. Plus now you got more institutions investing into it. Plus you getting a bigger payout. Plus you can loan out your Bitcoin for a better interest rate than you would get putting your money into a bank. The money you got into a bank, you can go put that in the Bitcoin right now and loan it out and get a better return on your money off the interest of loaning it out than you could in the bank. So it's messed up out here for a lot of people. It's just a lot of people don't know how to play with money. A lot of people don't know how to sit their ass down. Decrease your living, increase your revenue, invest. Take a chill pill. Sit out for a year and watch how your money grow. So me borrowing money, like the guy like sending the loan, borrowing money right now, if I had to advise, let's say a loved one or a really close friend, if it was something that I could lend them, I would rather just give them the money before they go borrow the money. I would just give them a interest-free loan. I would just loan them the money. You know, if it was someone I really cared for and they needed the money and they presented something to me, let's say a business plan or something, and I saw it was bulletproof and I liked the idea and I think it could work, I would probably just give them the money rather than advise them to go take out a loan. I just wouldn't do it. It costs too much. Like to borrow money right now is too expensive. So it's just my advice. Hey Mark, do you plan on talking more about crypto and stocks? Man, you know, a lot of people want me to because a lot of people have listened to me and made the plays and told me like, man, I listened to you and it worked. But here's the thing about that. It's risky. And I know and I've seen and we've all seen that, I'm very careful on what I talk about. I think talking about finances, and just me knowing the influence that I have in the space, people are just going to listen to me and they're going to go do it. But it's risky. And I know that if someone goes and does it and they lose their money, they're going to blame me for it. What I'm risking, I can afford to risk. Another person may go risk it and they may not be able to afford it because they trying to mirror what I'm doing. So I'm trying to figure out a way to talk about finances um without without doing it in a way where people are going to be putting themselves at risk. I know that sounds kind of mumble jumble, but I understand my influence. I'm cognizant of my influence, and I have to continue to remind myself that people gonna listen to you. They're gonna do what you tell them to do. So you got to be careful on how you talk about certain things. So what I'm thinking about doing is sharing my portfolio as far as my gains, my percentage gains. I actually built out another portfolio that I was going to start showing like in the members only. Not my main portfolio. I put $5,000 into a portfolio about a month ago, and I was going to I still am going to do it. And every week we're going to look to see how the portfolio is doing all the way to the end of the bull run. So I started with 5,000, and this is a portfolio I did just for content. I did that last month. That portfolio is almost at $9,000. So within a month's time, I've made a little over $3,000. So I'm just trying to figure out a way to do it carefully. So the answer to that is kind of yes and no. Yes and no. I may only do it in the members only. So I don't know yet. I'm just trying to figure it out. I ran a dedicated lane for Rivian earlier this year. For Rivian, I jumped in on those stocks at $12. Oh, so you made some change then. You up about $5 a share then. I think it closed at like $17.40 today. It was down on the day though, but you up overall about $5 a share. I just like broker's name, Mark, Jerry, Michael, Bob, and the whitest last name. When they speak, you can hear that they're hardcore in the accent. Ain't no way he's gonna call his son Callaway. Yeah. I seen Kirk was on the live the other day. He called and was an Indian guy, and Kirk asked him his name, and he said his name was Hunter. Hunter. Hunter is a good old boy name. A good old boy from Montana or North Dakota. That Indian dude name wasn't Hunter. His name was Shruti Patel. What should I charge a mile for 150 to 200 mile run? What are you running? What are you running? What lane are you running? What are you doing? I have a box truck or van load too big for my Prius. A gooseneck. Let me see. Free side. This live. Hey, this live is wild. Don't all the lives be wild? Have a good night, Mark from Texas. I appreciate the advice. I'll give you an update on the results. All right, let me know. Mercedes vans any good? Yeah, if I had to purchase a van right now, I would be looking at a Mercedes or a Ford Transit, one of the two. You made some money yourself today? Okay. In the streets. Stay very alert. This time of the year, you are out. It's dangerous in so many ways. Yeah, so all y'all that's from Middle America that I be talking about that ain't street savvy, you running OTR and you going to some of these markets like Philly and Chicago and LA and Atlanta. Make sure you keep your head on a swivel. Don't be walking down the street buried in your phone texting your boo bae, man. Keep your head up, stay alert out here in these streets. If somebody asks you what time it is, or if you got change for $1, if you got a light, they finna stick you up. Just keep walking, mind your business, and don't pay them no mind. 90% odds for crypto ETF January 5th to 10th. Yeah, I think it's gonna come second week of January. First week of January, you gotta remember, coming off the new year, ain't nobody really gonna be working. So I think the second week of January is we're gonna see that Bitcoin ETF. All-time high for Bitcoin is 69,000. We're at the beginning of the bull run. Some people say we're not in the bull run. Some analysts said this is the beginning of a bull run. I think this is the beginning of the bull run. I don't think this cycle is going to run cyclical in comparison to the last two cycles. I also think this is going to be the bull run of all bull runs. And I think after this bull run, we're going to see some form of regulation introduced into the space, and it's going to be less parabolic as the bull runs we've seen in the space in the past. It's getting to the point when we talking about ETFs for crypto, that's regulation. That's regulation. All right. If they're going to put an ETF, they're going to let, if they're going to make a Bitcoin ETF, and institutions, if they're going to make a Bitcoin ETF, that's letting retail investors know, people who have been leery on crypto know that crypto is here to stay. If the SEC approves that, that's just letting people know it's here to stay. And now, once they approve that, the people that have been leery are going to start buying into it. It's going to bring in more institutional investments, which is going to really push the price up. And it's going to bring in more retail investment who have been leery. Once the institutions come in, it's going to really skyrocket. So that $100,000 Bitcoin that analysts were calling for, they're now saying 250. Some are saying 500. I saw one today said 700. Because once the institutions get involved, then it's going to skyrocket. It hit 44, 45 today, and we're at the early stages of the bull run. That's damn near almost to all-time highs, period. So we'll probably see a $50,000 Bitcoin by the end of this year, going into the potential announcement of the ETF. We may pass all-time highs. It's a possibility we may see a $100,000 Bitcoin before the end of January. And if so, then your boy may go out and buy that Lambo. I may have to go out and buy that Lambo. I may have to might have to call me Lambo Mark. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I think this is going to be the bull run of all bull runs, and I think after this one, I think that's going to be it. I think we're going to have our bull runs, but we ain't going to have parabolic bull runs where you got coins that are 500,000x, and I saw something earlier today was 900x. Like, stuff like that is insane. We're not going to see that anymore. So once institutions start investing and staking their position, it's going to kind of like level itself out, and it's probably going to be like similar to how like the stock market is. Because notice the stock market, the bull run we saw at the end of the President Trump's tenure in office, the stock market has never been that volatile and that parabolic ever. A lot of that was due to, people being home, having a lot of money, and just sitting at home, putting money into the stock market, gambling. But we've never seen a market like that ever. That as far as I can remember since I've been playing the market. But, on the crypto side, I think this is going to be the last really parabolic bull run. So I think if you're not investing, I think it's probably be your best interest to invest. Do your research, though. Do your research. Just don't be buying stuff you don't know what you're buying. Next halving is not until 2028. You're wrong. Next halving is in April of 2024. The next halving is coming up. It's in about 4 to 5 months. It's in April of 2024. Let's see. Next Bitcoin halving. I believe it's in April. Let's see. Yep, I was right. See, that's why I said you got to do your research. You got to know this stuff, SD Walt. Next Bitcoin halving, 2024. I believe it's going to be in April 19th, 2024. at 6:12 a.m. April 19th, 2024, 6:19 a.m. Come on, SD Walt, man. You got to know this stuff. You had a Vietnamese nail dude tell you his name was Tyrone. I asked him why he chose that. He said he just liked it. Wow. Wow. All right, man. It's been fun, guys. I answered every question. I stayed on longer than I said I would. I think I'm gonna do a show Thursday. I don't know. I'm kind of working on two. I'm working on one new show, and then I'm working on another series. Um, that's why I haven't really been doing stuff because I've been taking the time that I would be streaming to kind of work on this stuff. Man, I miss the Wiseman show. I do miss the Wiseman show. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I do miss Monday nights doing the Wiseman show. I think that was a dope show. So I need y'all all to go troll Kirk, troll his DM, troll his email, troll his channel, and tell him we want the wise men back. We want the wise men back. We want the wise men back, and see if he come back. See if he get out his feelings for a minute, so we can bring the wise men back. All right, y'all. It's been fun. I'll see y'all next time. Possibly see y'all Thursday. I'm out. Peace. Hit that like button on your way out.